Medical personnel are reportedly still evaluating a Bay District school bus driver after a crash this morning.
It happened as the driver was taking a group of students to Arnold High School around 8:15 this morning at the intersection of Alf Coleman Road and Dr. Haley Drive. Panama City Beach Police said the bus driver may have suffered some sort of medical issue, causing him to veer off the road and into the ditch. Paramedics took the driver to a local hospital to be evaluated. School officials and first responders moved all the students to the Arnold cafeteria to be evaluated. A few of them reported complaints of neck and back pain and headaches, but no serious injuries have been reported at this time. No other vehicles were involved. This morning's crash was one of the more than a half a dozen that involved a Bay District school bus this school year. District officials have struggled to find enough drivers for years, but especially since Hurricane Michael and the pandemic. As News 13's Jack Hull tells us, district officials say the shortages are not related to these crashes.
This morning, a bus carrying Bay District students veered into a ditch outside of Arnold High School. It's the 7th crash involving a Bay District school bus since school began in August. The driver in Monday's incident appears to have suffered some sort of medical issue that resulted in the crash. On October 11th, two buses collided as they were leaving Bozeman School. One of the drivers hit the other from behind on Highway 77, sending 12 kids to the hospital. In September, a Ford Ranger veered onto the wrong side of the road.
Typically, statistically speaking, less than 1/3 of the bus accidents in any given year are actually our fault.
But that's not the case this year. Mahalik says of the 7 crashes, Bay District drivers were at fault 4 times. The district has struggled with driver shortages for at least a decade, but Mahalik downplays any connection between the shortages and the crashes.
Like every employer across the nation, we face shortages of employees. We have shortages of teachers, shortages of paras, and shortages of bus drivers. Where a qualified driver is not available on staff, of course, our administrators do jump in. They're all qualified bus drivers as well, so that we don't have any routes that are uncovered.
Instead, the district is blaming an increase in overall traffic.
I think that overall, there are more accidents than there used to be just because there's more cars on the road. So our drivers do an amazing job of delivering students to and from school safely. Unfortunately, today, our driver seems to have suffered a medical emergency, which again can happen to any driver.
Before Monday's wreck, the school district says they were at full capacity on bus drivers. In Bay County, Jack Hull, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
District also applauded the students on board during today's crash, saying they all followed proper evacuation procedures. Some even stayed to tend to the driver.